We're going to rig a trick line with pulleys. I thought trick lines were only ever rigged with ratchets, so this is news to me. Since I love pulleys, this should be fun, and we are going to find out on this episode of how not to trick line, the way to die. Oh my God, I'm so close, guys, I'm so close. So check it out on this episode of how not to trick line. Want to see some science? Science hurts. No way! This is Tree Protection. And if you have the kind that has these loops, you can actually have your span set sit inside of it, which we've already set up because we've had a line here previously. The working load limit of this is 1 ton, as you can see right there. And if you do it in a basket shape, it gives you twice as much strength. So you actually can do 2 tons on this safely with a 7-to-1 safety ratio. So this will actually break at 150 kilonewtons the way it is right now. You really want this part to be really strong. You want your tree to be stronger than the span set. You want your pulley to be pretty dang strong, and eventually your webbing be the weakest point in your system, or you could die. Go for it.
So we're gonna connect pulley system with a shackle. It's a big ass shackle, but I like using a bigger shackle because smaller shackle creates this like rubbing thing. So if the shackle is small and it kind of goes deeper, the bigger one kind of this, what is it called?
Sits nicer.
Yeah, sits nicer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like using a bigger one,
That's
even
true.
though it's heavier.
Because this is aluminum and it's softer metal.
And then we stretch out our pulley system. Make sure the web lock is positioned the right way.
Because the tail will come out the bottom and you're below it because your trick lines are up at your head level.
Top, yeah.
Okay. So you want me to hold this for you?
Yeah.
If you want to learn how to reeve these, you can go to the video that we'll put on the screen. We've got a couple different ones, and they're in our slackline and highline courses on slackline.com.
The way you put it in the web lock, you fold it like this. You go up and top and over. And you have this loop over here. And you put this in the loop.
Cool.
Like this.
Okay, and then the tail
The tail just stays here.
hangs on the bottom.
And then once we connect the other side, we can pretension it. But it's not as crucial as with ratchets.
Okay, let's go to the other side.
Up.
So we have a line scale 2 from linegrip.com, and it's going to tell us how much force we have on this line. We're doing a video about forces on trick lines, so you can check that out. This is also another span set. Green is stronger than purple, blue is weaker than green, blue is stronger than purple, and none of it matters because they're all strong enough. But this is pretty dang burly. Anyways, what we did is an EBGB's knot in here, and you can check that out, how to do these knots on the trick lining course or the highlining 102 course where we go over knots. There's also several videos and resources on there. It's all linked in the courses. But you can embed this in here. It's basically just girth hitched in, and this way you have a soft good on a hard good. Now we're gonna have a hard good on a hard good, and it is going to affect the edges of my line scale 2, but it's not the end of the world. This thing is 110 kilonewtons strong, rated for 80, and super strong enough. You never want anything weak in here because when stuff goes flying, you're gonna die. So, take it away, Dylan.
This side, it would be the static side. There's nothing moving. So it's just a line lock, right? On the shackle, onto the span set.
Yeah, you only have the pulleys over there. Can you attach the sew-in loop if there is one?
No, because it's twisted. It doesn't sit straight. No.
Oh.
It doesn't sit straight. No.
It's twisted because it's designed for girth hitching around the tree or pole, or what's it designed?
It's like twisted 90, so it ends up like that.
What's the sew-in loop for? I've seen you people girth hitch
stuff.
stuff
Yeah, it's for girth hitch, and then they twist it.
But that wears out your webbing.
Right. I mean,
all of this is to make your webbing last longer.
I don't girth hitch with lines like this Surfer anymore because I've had them rip on me. I've had the girth hitch and the fold start to tear just based on the tensions, and it wasn't sitting right. So I don't girth hitch like professional level trick lines anymore.
What you buy on Amazon is
Just slack lines, not trick lines. Because this is originally a slack line, but you can use it as a trick line because it's a pretty strong webbing.
Okay.
Yeah.
2-inch slack lines are not trick lines.
Exactly.
It's easy enough to find flat when you just get over here and you just twist what you need. So now that he's got flat, yep.
I take my bite of the slack line. The top part is the one that I will be bouncing on that is flat. Put it through here, and this bite is what I... And now, it grabs itself.
And now you can pretension, right?
Yeah, what side do you, does it matter what you pretension?
No, so I pretension pulley side because I can look at what, like, because pretension is important with the pulleys, right? Because if you pretension too much, pulleys are too long, too short, you have to like restart.
It's a good pulley size right now.
The way this web lock works is we can pull this here, but you can't pull it this way. It all locks itself in place, especially the more tension it has, and it keeps it super nice and flat. So we can pull this tail here or on that side.
It's also easier to pretension if you lean it a little bit this way.
Yeah, you lose
It
a lot of
releases
the
a lot
friction.
Of, yeah,
a lot of friction doing that. But once it gets tight, it's going to be pretty hard.
Yeah.
So right now we're off the ground, so now we're going to pull the pulleys. It's important to fix your span set on the Tree Pro before you get real tension on this, because you won't be able to do it later.
You take this strain that goes into the eddy,
Uh-huh.
and you put a T-block on it. Then you put a small pulley through the end of the rope, and then you connect the two. I'm using this carabiner. It doesn't lock, but it doesn't matter because it's not going to stay in the system. We're just using it to tension.
Yeah, it doesn't see very much. Pre-tension until you can't anymore.
That's a pretension.
Okay, what's our pre-tension force?
1.30. Oh, it's actually very close to the what we got on the ratchets.
Let's do an all go to 1.
Let's go all go to 1.
And then we'll see what 3 people can do.
What I can do, yeah, I'm on 3 people. And I'm gonna put my best effort.
I would only expect the best effort.
As hard as I can. It's actually easier when you put like 2 feet like this, and then you lean back, and then you straighten your legs. That's like the best way to pull on the rope. So I'm gonna do this until I can't do it anymore.
So that's an Olga to 1. 1 person pulling.
Okay, what is it now?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
So let's see what 3 people can do on a 15 to 1.
2, 3.
Wow. Wow.
2, 3.
That's amazing.
2, 3.
That might be good.
You
Are we
think
going until we don't need to?
you
or?
think that might be good? That is so much pressure. 12.3.
Yeah, resting is way.
Wow. Olga might be happy. 12.3. Oh yeah. Dang.
It's too tight. That's the sound of too tight.
Okay. Well, I think when you're on it, it'll settle.
Yeah.
So how do you back this up?
First, I take this this out of here because I don't like it being in there. I don't like the noise. I don't like any extra stuff hanging off that can come flying at me in the event of an accident. So usually, even though you don't necessarily have to, I tie this knot first, which backs up the brake in the event of that. It's really just to make you feel better, you know?
That's all backups are for.
So, I would come and do my too many knots, right?
Yeah.
Every time, just like that.
Okay.
And then I would come around the back side, just like I did on the other one, and put this. Usually I prefer, if I have enough rope in the pulley, to come all the way up here, actually, on both sides. So I don't have enough, so I'll probably just put it right back here, which is only backing up the span set.
The bomber span set, yeah.
Yeah, I know, not backing up any of this because I don't have enough rope, which is when this rope would come into handy.
Yeah, I normally just back up web lock to the anchor.
Okay.
Because if anything of like here breaks or slips, this rope is gonna hold it.
So yeah, typically the pulleys are shorter and this rope comes out to here. I'm always tying those pulley ropes up here so that it's not just backing up the span set because it's a little useless like that.
Yeah.
That's it. Now we still have to back up the other side. All right, let's go.
So a couple alternatives to backing up your webbing. At high tensions, it doesn't really slip, but in high lining, because we're playing with all sorts of tensions, we're used to backing it up. If you're backing this up, you can double wrap it. You can go in twice and then put the pin in. That's one alternative because that doesn't slip. Or you can take this tail and go up the bottom. So if it does slip, it still stays straight, and then you have all this tail to work with. And in this case, I'm gonna back it up to the pulleys just so it has something to back up maybe this pin or just back stuff up. And I'm going to put a loop through here. You can pull the whole thing through because if it got tight, you can just release the pulleys. But I also just like to do the loop because in that loop I can just lock it off. You can just, I don't have enough tail to do a lot more. I'll just go through again. But this way it's like not gonna slip, it backs up this, everything's, the whole point is how it doesn't matter what you do, you just really want the stuff to be attached somehow to the tree, because if something breaks besides the webbing, if the webbing breaks, everything goes away from the middle. If something over here breaks, metal will come, and has killed people before from hitting them in the head. It's too what?
Loose.
Oh my gosh, no making you happy with your tensions. How's it feel?
I think it feels good. I kind of like to play with the differences in trickline tensions.
He's basically saying loose in a nice way.
Imagine if there was a 20-foot discrepancy in the three-point line in basketball, and then you could just have fun with that. You show up to one game and the three-pointer is easy. You show up to the next game, three-pointers are insanely hard.
Wow, and the pulley system doesn't bother you. That's insane.
I actually like the weight. I'm used to it.
Okay.